Hello and welcome. Now in this video we are going to add more functionality to our application. Okay, so we are gonna add the functionality to see the result. Okay, so once the user enter any code that's related to the web design skills, we are gonna run it on our code activity. So I'm gonna open it very quick. Okay, we have this activity underscore code. And what we need to, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to first change this constant layout to be a relative layout. So I'm going to select the whole tag that's related to the constant layout. I'm going to replace it with a relative layout. We have it right here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the idea behind the browser or the web browser, we can use something in Android development called web view. Now a web view is just a simple web view, okay, but it will present as a web browser that we can use inside our application. So here what you need to do, search for the web view, and we have it. Just drag it and drop it inside your relative layout, and as you can see how it's look like. Now let's go ahead and assign an ID to call it, for example, web underscore browser or whatever really. Now our time here is actually all what we did is finish just adding a web view, and let's go ahead and add the functionality that will go behind the scenes. So open your code activity.kotlin, and here I'm going to define a variable for it to fetch it. I'm going to call it web underscore browser. Okay, not the semicolon, do not add it. Okay, and it should be that of type web view. Okay, web view, we have it right here, and everything set up. Let's fetch it inside our own create function. I'm gonna make web browser, it should equal to the find view by id method r.id.web browser. We have it right here. Now ladies and gentlemen, what we can do now, we can add the functionality which will be just a one line of code really. So I'm gonna type web browser dot load data. Okay, and the first thing that we need to pass, it's actually the actual code. Okay, the actual user data that he will be entering from the first activity. So we can access it by typing intent, okay, dot get string extra, and we need to pass the key which was code. Okay, simple as that. But we need to pass more than one thing. Okay, and the second thing that we need to pass is actually the type of the data that we are gonna get. In this case, we are gonna get it as an HTML code, so we need to type it like this. I'm gonna type text and /HTML colon. Okay, then we need to specify the char set. Say this is for the language. Okay, it should be in the colon. Okay, I'm gonna here type char set. Okay, the char set should be equal to the UTF-8. This is for the language, for the English language, so UTF-8. And if you're familiar with the web design skills, so probably you know what I'm talking about. So this is not an Android code. Okay, everything we wrote so far for the text/HTML, then char set UTF-8, it's actually for the web designers. Okay, but we need to make the web view look like this. Okay, so I'm gonna pass the encoding to be null. Okay, and everything is done, ladies and gentlemen. So our web view now should work just we want it. Okay, so everything now we have it added. It's actually a great. Okay, now our time here to run our application on a real Android device, and let's see how it will work. Now as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we have our application app and running. And what I did, ladies and gentlemen, I have typed this startup document for the HTML from scratch for you. Okay, so instead of watch me typing everything, I just you can copy it from any website online. For example, the W3 school, I just copy it for the saving your time. Okay, and if you have any experience with HTML, so probably you know all this stuff. It's very basics. Okay, now what we want to do, we want to click on the run code here to see the result. What I'm going to do, I'm going to click on the run code here. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, our application worked just perfectly and as we wanted. Okay, and if you change anything here, for example, instead of typing my first, let's change everything. Okay, here instead of I'm gonna add random text. Okay, here I'm gonna click on run code once again. So as you can see, it's look very nice. Of course, you can customize it as you want. Okay, but till now, ladies and gentlemen, our application, it's not for example running the JavaScript code, because for JavaScript we need to do something, but for the HTML and CSS it's just good, it's just perfect. Okay, but for the JavaScript we need to do more. Okay, now what we are gonna do, we are gonna of course improve our application, okay, for more advanced features. So for example, instead of the user type this code, okay, from scratch, what we are going to do, we are going to add a button for the user to click on it to insert this code by default. Okay, and we are going to of course add the clear functionality to exit functionality, so on and so forth. So with that in place, what we are going to do, we are going to continue on in the next video to create menus for our application. So thank you guys so much for watching. We are going to continue on in the next video.